This is very important information. None of it is an advertisement to take your money. So that fireplace effect that we hear in every episode, let's just turn. I'll just turn on the fire here.
It's a fireplace.
That is a fireplace that you're hearing.
It's a fireside chat that we're having between us and you, the listener, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Okay, you're going to hear some current event talk in this episode that is not current.
Yes, we recorded several episodes before we went live. So if you like what you hear at all, please support us on iTunes by just giving us 5 stars so that more people know that we're out here shouting into microphones.
Yes.
Also, well, you can talk about this because I hate this.
Jim hates this part of the show. You can vote for your favorite idea that we came up with in each episode. In the show notes, there's a survey link, and we will, maybe, at some point in time, do a bonus episode based on the winning idea.
Finally, if you have anything you want to say to us, anything at all, hopefully it's nice things. But even if it's not, if you have feedback for us, hit us up on any of our social media platforms or on the email. You can email us at doyouwanttomake.apodcast@gmail.com.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, @doyouwanttopod. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we hope you enjoy.
Enjoy. I love you.
Bye.
Except hello, because now the show's starting.
It did.
Should we talk about, do we want to do like a cold open type thing? Or like... Do we just want to...
I think we say, hey, Jim.
Hey, Joe.
Do you want to make a podcast?
I thought you'd never ask.
For those just listening, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Jim and I are the best of friends. We want to make a podcast, and we're full of ideas, and we can't settle on one. So we're going to talk about that.
We're just trying to find the best idea ever in the world.
Or just our favorite idea, because I think...
No.
No?
The best idea.
Best is in the eye of the beholder.
I don't settle for second place, Joseph.
That's fine.
I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to win.
But
this is Survivor auditions, right?
Oh yeah, Jeff. What's his name? Probst. How Probst?
Probst. Probst.
How hard do people hit that T though? I feel like it's not nearly.
They should hit it harder. That's true.
Probst. Yeah, I bet that bothers him. He's just like, there's a T in there.
Yeah, my name's not Jeff Probes. Not
probing people.
Not like, an alien.
Oh, like an anal probe. South Park. That was the pilot, actually. Cartman gets an anal probe.
Oh, do you like South Park?
I do. I love South Park. Thank you for asking. It's my favorite cartoon that's not The Simpsons. My favorite adult cartoon that's not The Simpsons. Yes. Okay. Very specific. Do you want me to elaborate?
Do you have preferences on like seasons of The Simpsons? Are you one of those people that like, I won't watch anything after season 7?
No. I do feel that way about Family Guy.
I don't want to talk about Family Guy.
Me neither. I appreciate Family Guy, and I'm glad it has older people still laughing at cartoons. Like, I love it for that.
That's true. That's a good point. I like that.
I like that about Family Guy, but I never care to watch an episode of it ever again.
That's a great analysis. All right, so here's our first idea. Cartoon analysis. Go.
Cartoon analyses. A podcast about cartoon analyses. Where do we begin? We can talk about how the best cartoons or the best stories have something for everyone.
That's very true.
Have something for little kids and adults, which brings us back to SpongeBob. I will get specific because Steven Hillenburg, the creator, pretty much was phased out after season 4 of SpongeBob. So when I'm referring to SpongeBob, I am specifically referring to seasons 1 through 4.
And I mean, it's so hard to talk about seasons of cartoons because, like, cartoons don't play by the rules that, like, usual primetime TV follows, where like we're gonna do 22 episodes and they're gonna air at 8 p.m. every Wednesday.
Right.
Like cartoons play fast and loose, especially in this internet age where it's like we're gonna drop 5 episodes every day this week, and then we're not gonna drop another new episode for 7 months. So enjoy these and relish them, because you're not gonna get anything else for a million years.
You feel very strongly about this.
I do, because one of my favorite current cartoons is a cartoon called Steven Universe.
Yes.
You want to talk about being good for kids and adults? Primo.
Mm-hmm.
Great way to start conversations about feelings and relationships. Love it. It's a great show. They'll do these things called Steven Bombs, where they air like an episode arc over a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then they won't air a new I'm not kidding. They won't air a new episode for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Well,
Adventure Time, I don't know the time. I don't know the time.
Adventure Time does it a little bit too.
Does it as well. But I know SpongeBob seasons 1 through 4 because those are the episodes I acquired.
Yeah.
That fell off a truck that I did not steal.
Well, I mean, my brother has the first 100 episodes of SpongeBob on DVD.
There's a video out there.
They're all the classics.
There's a video out there we'll link to in the show links when we eventually release this. A great for Mom. When we release it for Mom.
Yeah, I'm sure Mom will click all the links.
She's going to have to ask me, how do I click on the show links in your podcast? And I'm going to have to show her how to do that. Looking forward to that, Mom. Love you.
Hi, Mom.
I want to bring up this video, anyone who's seen it. I don't know the guy who made it, but his logo in the beginning is that of a like an antler, like antlers and a deer with antlers. I don't know why it took me so long to say that, but he really tracks the production of SpongeBob and how it went downhill. And it's it's like a 7-minute, really, really good watch. I'll send it to you.
Interesting.
But yeah, I only refer to SpongeBob seasons 1 through 4 and the new movie, Sponge Out of Water, which I enjoyed. And
was it good? I haven't seen that one. The original SpongeBob SquarePants movie is primo.
I think I liked this second one more for a reason. Here are the reasons why I liked it more.
Does it have a ridiculous cameo appearance from David Hasselhoff?
It does not.
Well, then it can't be that good.
So the reasons why I liked it more is because by the time I saw Sponge Out of Water, I missed good SpongeBob so much that when I did get it, I was just enthralled by this movie. Mm-hmm. And it does have a great, not cameo, but a full-on bit part by Antonio Banderas. And it's funny watching him be live action.
That's no David Hasselhoff.
No, but I enjoyed it. Like, I would take feature role Antonio Banderas over cameo David Hasselhoff any day of the week.
That's fair.
Sorry to shoot it down. I love you.
And I love you.
So those are the SpongeBobs that have my heart. Seasons 1 through 4, Sponge Out of Water. I enjoyed the original SpongeBob movie, but it was too much of a musical for me. Like, I almost like, it's like I'm a little kid
they didn't do. Oh no, they did do a lot of songs.
They did a lot of songs, and how some people don't like their food touching. I guess I like my SpongeBob being SpongeBob and my musicals being musicals.
I don't know. SpongeBob has some great songs. I used to have a little CD that had
the Yellow Album.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the Yellow Album. I think they released something else before they released the Yellow Album because it only had like 7 songs on it, but it had like the fun song.
Campfire song.
And it had, I don't know if it had the Campfire song. It had the Texas song on it.
Striped Sweater?
I don't think it had Striped Sweater on it. It had the song about splitting your pants on it.
Ripped Pants is always classic.
It's a great song.
I'm just listing the track list of the Yellow Album. So, Sweet Victory.
It definitely did not have Sweet Victory on it.
That's so. Yellow Album is up there with the White Album. The Yellow Album.
I only listen to albums that have colors in their names.
So all Weezer albums are on your list then? Because it's just
Beverly Hills.
That's where you want to be.
That's where I want to be.
Living in Beverly Hills.
Gimme, gimme. Gimme, gimme.
Oh, shit. So that's one podcast idea.
That is one podcast idea.
Cartoons.
All right.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But that's a limited audience, you know? Like, there's people...
Yes.
...who
Well, I
guess,
feel like I don't think there's ever been a podcast made that could appeal to anything more than a limited audience, but I'm no expert.
Well, not since I've learned that there's a podcast about Hamilton, the Broadway musical.
There are several podcasts about it.
And Hamilton, the Broadway musical, appears to apparently everyone alive within the past 5 years. Therefore, those podcasts would appeal to the same people. Must be nice having a built-in audience.
Here's an idea for you.
Go.
Let's do a foodie podcast. Let's do something foodie-ish. Specifically, I was thinking, what's a restaurant that has a lot of different food items that we could look at? And I came up with, do you know what I'm going to say?
Are you going to say a diner podcast?
No, but that might be better. I was going to say the Cheesecake Factory.
Ooh.
Let's do an episode by episode analysis of the Cheesecake Factory's menu. Because have you been to the Cheesecake Factory, Joseph?
A limited number of times.
But you have been there.
I've had their cheesecakes in like boxed form.
Yes, their cheesecakes are
very
good.
They're the best, and I've had those at in the comfort of my own home more times than I care to admit.
Right, but have you looked at the menu of the Cheesecake Factory?
It's enormous.
It's gigantic. It is a novel. It's not a menu. It's a novel.
It's like a Tolkien novel on the menu.
Yes,
with a whole section for Tom Bombadil, which that's the reason I stopped reading Lord of the Rings, is I couldn't. I watched the movies and loved the movies.
You got through more than I did.
And when I read it, I was like, "Who's Tom Bombadil? He's not played by Viggo Mortensen or any of those other people, so I don't care." And I stopped reading.
Elijah Wood, Orlando Bloom.
Well, I don't care too much about parts played by Orlando Bloom, but
savage! Whoa,
Ian McKellen.
Oh, Ian McKellen. Why did I say Orlando Bloom before I said Ian McKellen?
It's okay.
Probably because Orlando Bloom's so dreamy.
He is dreamy, though. Like, I won't take that away.
You know who else is dreamy?
Man.
Ian McKellen.
Yes.
Very dreamy.
Yes. But anyway, the Cheesecake Factory menu.
If you want to talk about never having a shortage of content.
Fair.
Like, there it is. Like, oh my gosh. Massive.
So, how do the listeners know to trust our opinion on food, though, Jim?
Well, I think you highlighted it right there, Joseph, with the big O word. Opinion.
Orlando Bloom? Oh.
Yes, Orlando Bloom. Because, of course, we will also have Orlando Bloom. We need to call Orlando Bloom's people and say, hey, Orlando Bloom, you want to eat at the Cheesecake Factory with us every week?
Can you imagine Orlando Bloom just gazing at the menu, like with his Legolas concentration, looking at the menu? Be like, what's your elf I see, Legolas? And he'll be like, I see a cheesecake. Like, yes, Legolas, we're at the Cheesecake Factory. What else do you see? More cheesecake. God damn it. Yeah, we can't have Orlando Bloom. Because the crowds that would surge to the table just to look at him.
You are setting your sights too low. Too low. Because first off, if you want to avoid the crowds, what do?
Order out?
You get takeout.
Get takeout.
Let's get some Cheesecake Factory takeout.
And then
bring it back.
Chill with Orlando Bloom.
Chill with Orlando Bloom. We'll hang out. We'll talk a little bit about life. And then we'll eat a delicious Cheesecake Factory meal and offer our opinions on it. On how delicious it probably is.
And people will listen because Orlando Bloom is there. He was the big O word.
He's
Orlando
the big
Bloom.
O word.
Yeah.
And we can call it the big O word. No, that's a bad name. It's a bad name.
It's not a bad name. It's just people are not going to think Orlando Bloom when they see the big O word. They're going to think orgasm.
They're going to think Oregon.
They're going to think the conservatives will think original sin. Then they'll listen to the podcast and be like, "Oh, these are liberals. We're not listening anymore."
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, that would be good. And I feel like half I said half.
Orlando food.
Orlando food.
No, that's nothing.
Or just be like dissecting the Cheesecake Factory with Orlando Bloom.
Okay.
Or like some title with
Straight
Orlando
to the point.
Bloom.
I like it. I don't know about dissecting the Cheesecake Factory. That sounds like we're cutting it open and like taking out all its organs.
Sure. So how about gazing at food with Orlando Bloom?
Gazing at food. All right.
Be like, what do you see, Orlando? And he'll just describe the food in front of him.
Yeah.
It could be Cheesecake Factory. It could be lambus bread. It could be some elven food. It could be whatever. That would be difficult though, because a podcast audio. But you want to see Orlando Bloom in all his dreaminess.
We could have a visual component that's just a camera. You don't see us. You only hear us. But there's a camera that's on Orlando Bloom's face at all times.
That's good.
We could also have like a YouTube channel that's just like videos of Orlando Bloom talking about this food,
staring at food, and in the corner is like
it's a picture of the food. Is of the food that he's looking at.
Oh yeah.
No, this is it. This might be it.
We've figured it out. 3 episodes into our podcast about podcasts.
Print, save, Control S. Is that save? I don't know.
Control S is save. Command S on a Mac. Don't know what it is on Linux, but shout out to any people using Linux.
Yes, hello Linuxers.
Mom, if you've learned Linux, I will be so proud of you.
Great job, Mom.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah, that's definitely in the top 3.
I think it's on the short list for sure.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, write it down.
What's today? March 3rd?
Yeah. I'm going to write it real big. I'm going to write Orlando
Bloom.
Now, but of course, this idea hinges on getting Orlando Bloom. Now, I think he'd be into it because the only thing that I've seen him do recently is the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And as you know, those are done now.
Yep.
So
hopefully his schedule has some free time.
Yeah, I'm sure he's free once a week. We can fly out to LA and hit up the nearest Cheesecake Factory.
Which I think not in LA, but I think California is their headquarters.
Oh, excellent.
So this would be even easier.
Oh, man, let's just do it. Let's call the Cheesecake Factory. Let's get this an officially sponsored Cheesecake Factory podcast with us and Orlando Bloom.
As he stares at food. And I think a good bit would be the running gag that earlier in this very episode, I sort of looked down my nose at his entire career. And who am I?
True, you did.
A nobody to do that. But I think that would be a fun bit for the podcast where he just does not like me.
He just hates you.
Yeah.
But he loves me.
He loves you.
Because, who does?
He loves you, hates me, and if this podcast is lucrative, I'm assuming he likes money.
Lucrative podcast. There's 2 words that have never been put together.
Oh, right. But also, Orlando Bloom and Cheesecake Factory are 4 words that have probably not been put together on a podcast.
On a podcast? No, probably not.
Right.
In general, I'm sure that the Cheesecake Factory marketing department did at some point say, we need Orlando Bloom.
And let me
without a doubt.
And let me get a little vulnerable here.
Yes.
Mr. Bloom, I'm incredibly jealous that you have had the career you had, have been in Lord of the Rings. What I said to you was said from a place of immaturity, anger, and I'm sorry.
Joseph? I'm very glad you had the stones to admit that.
I'm
proud of you.
I feel like incompetent when put next to Orlando Bloom. There you go.
Who
I
doesn't?
feel like
what a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like his body of work, I can name, I can technically name 7 movies he's been in because I can name all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and all the
Lord of the Rings
movies.
And not for nothing, I watched the first Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think anyone who got to kiss Keira Knightley who wasn't me, there was no chance of me liking that person.
Okay.
So, I think Orlando Bloom, you're great. You're awesome. I'm shitty.
You're beautiful.
I'm shitty.
You don't know you're beautiful.
Oh, wow. Throwing it back.
What else do you have for me?
So I have some ideas from the last episode.
Okay.
Before I get into that, I came up with another rhyme for Norman.
Thank God.
Norman the man.
Just what we need. More rhymes for Norman.
Norman the Warman.
That is a good one.
He's like an Ottoman warlord.
Yes. Now, I also had a thought for Norman because we talked about all of Norman's jobs, and I think Norman has all these jobs, but I think the comedy comes when the wrong job shows up at the wrong place. So, like,
round of applause.
Norman the Warman shows up at Norman the Floorman's job.
Ooh,
And he's like, I've come to put in the floors! But first, I must destroy these floors! And he, like, takes an axe to the floor, and the person that lives there is like, you just put an axe through my floor.
Well, he'd be creating more work for Norman the Floorman by being destructive, Norman the Warman. And I did hear a recent commercial for Norman in real life the other day, and I think the majority of what he does is carpeting. I don't think he installs floors. I think he covers them with carpets, just for accuracy's sake.
So he's really Norman the Carpetman.
Yes, but how good is that for a radio hook?
Norman the Marketman. No. No, that's nothing.
Norman the Textile Man. See, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's
textiles.
why he goes. That's why he goes by Floorman.
Because it rhymes.
Yeah.
With Norman.
Yep. So that was one idea I had.
What about Norman the Norman? Because that's like a group of people, I think.
From Normandy?
Yes, or something.
He like.
I don't know. Like it's just. I think it's just funny that it would be Norman the Norman.
So I see like.
That's the joke.
I see like a bunch of people in like Illuminati garb capturing Norman just to tell him of his heritage of being from Normandy.
Okay.
And he's kind of like, what's so special about that? They're like, what? It's Normandy.
Your name is Norman, and you're Norman. Do you not understand how funny that is?
So, okay, so is he the chosen one then? Do we go with like the whole sort of Jesus Christ?
Obviously, if he has this many personalities, obviously he has some kind of self-import. I can't believe we are talking about Norman the Man again. I can't believe this.
Well, the good news is that's the end of my rhyme list.
Okay,
about
great.
Norman the Man.
All right, let's get another idea in here.
A podcast about someone whose name is Rusty Dusty. And
okay, hold on. Are all your ideas just things that rhyme?
If the answer was yes,
then I quit.
Oh no! Well, no. The answer, they are not all. My ideas are not all rhyming ideas, but my favorite ideas are rhyming ideas.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, go on. Rusty Dusty. Let's hear it.
Rusty Dusty.
Give me your elevator pitch.
It's about this guy named Rusty.
Okay.
And the podcast is about him reacquainting himself with things he used to be really good at. He's Rusty. Or no, sorry. His name is Dusty.
His name's Dusty. And he's Rusty.
So... And it's kind of educational. So it's like, oh, I haven't had to change a flat tire in 4 years. I'm a little rusty. This is how you change a flat tire. That's it. That's that whole idea.
Okay, that's it.
But think about sponsorships though, like people who want to like want to learn.
Like if we do changing a tire, it'll be sponsored by Goodyear.
Yes,
and we can record the podcast from the Goodyear blimp.
Exactly.
Like we can be watching Rusty Dusty from the Goodyear blimp.
Yeah,
looking down on him and saying, "Well, look at him go! Here he goes, trying to change the tire. Looks like he doesn't even know where his spare tire is located. So
boy, is he rusty.
Off to a bad start.
Yeah.
See, he bought a new car 2 years ago, and he never cared to learn where the spare tire was.
Yeah.
So,
gonna be a long day.
Gonna be a real struggle here. He's probably gonna end up having to call AAA.
Also sponsored by AAA. And then, so you have, like, Dusty is about to take a trip to Spain. Hasn't touched Spanish since high school. And this episode will be brought to you by,
Duolingo.
Duolingo, yes. By Duolingo.
Or Rosetta Stone.
Or
both.
Or, what's the one? Babbel. That's what NPR keeps telling me to check out.
Oh, I'm not familiar. But I believe
you. It's basically one of those.
It's the same thing.
Same thing, but targeted to an NPR audience.
Ooh,
So it's fancy.
it's a little snootier.
It's just a little bit
Just
snootier.
a little snootier.
Just a little bit snootier. So I'm imagining the Duolingo parrot with like a mustache and a pipe. And that's Babel reading the New Yorker and going gluten-free.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
So that's Rusty Dusty. Gonna check that off that we talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
I'm torn between these two.
All right,
Which
give me
are
one.
you-
Give me one more.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, just pick one.
This is a podcast about a lady whose name is, or I don't know if this is her name, but you know, like there's a drink called a hot toddy, right? Like
I am familiar.
This podcast is called Hot Naughty, and it's about this girl talking about what is not hot. But my hope is that she's actually very progressive and intelligent, but her voice sounds like this. So she's like, mean people, not hot. Neo-Nazis, not hot. And she just...
So basically you want to make a progressive Paris Hilton.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But the podcast is called Hot Naughty. And maybe she's drunk off hot toddies. So she'd be like, trade embargoes, not hot.
Okay.
Discrimination, not hot.
And then every once in a while she would throw in one that's like super superficial.
Yeah, just for fun.
Just for fun if she's drunk.
People who wear purple, not hot.
Purple's a great color. I look great in purple. I don't know what you're talking about.
That wasn't me. That was... What's her name? We got to give her a name.
Not Hottie.
Her name is not Hottie.
Or no, Hot Naughty. Her name's Naughty. Her name's
Her name
Nadia.
is not Nadia. Yes, Nadia.
Say I was gonna get there.
That's good. Nadia. Okay, so that's my other idea.
Okay.
And I'll save my other idea for later because I want you to keep doing this podcast with me. And
you're not gonna come up with any more ideas between now and
no, I will.
next
But
time?
my next favorite. I'm closing my book so Jim can't read it. That's for the listeners.
Okay.
No, I have other ideas, but I want to give you the floor a little bit. I want
All right.
to share the love.
Well, I would like to discuss something I watched on Netflix this week, and that is Queer Eye.
I've heard great things about it.
It was very good.
It is
I might have watched all 8 episodes in one sitting.
No,
No, not one
talk to
sitting,
me.
but in one
Yeah,
24-hour period.
It's on my list. Talk to me.
It was very enjoyable. So before we get into like what we can do with it as a podcast, it was just so interesting, and it was like more emotionally raw than I expected it to be.
Did it
Like-
shake you?
Only one episode, no, there were a couple that hit a little close to home insofar that ooh, I'm that guy that they're trying to fix.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa!
Great.
But only one made me cry, and there was one. It's not Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, because one of the guys that they made over was actually a gay guy.
Okay.
But the gay guy wasn't out to everyone yet,
Wow.
and so there was a really great scene at the end of the episode where he came out to his stepmom.
Oh God.
And it was beautiful. I don't think I've never seen. We are both heterosexual men. We have not had to go through that
Right.
in any way.
Right.
And I've never seen someone really come out.
Yeah, in real time,
in,
sure.
in real life. You see it every once in a while in a TV show, but it's manufactured. And it was just such a genuine thing, and it was really very emotionally raw.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I have nothing to compare it to, but I was
Yeah. It really
I was
affected you.
yeah, I was this is V good.
Great.
So yeah, it was good TV, and it's the 5 guys that have their queer eyes are a great mix of people,
Cool.
very eclectic, and they're a lot of fun to watch, and it was just very good.
So
The
let
end.
me ask you,
Yeah.
because I'm asking you this not to play devil's advocate because I want to be wrong here.
Yeah.
So I've had a limited experience with being on set for reality TV shows and see how totally fake they are. What about this show made you think it was not fake?
I think it was mostly because, like, the people that they were helping really wanted to be helped.
Okay.
You know? And you could, like, see improvements. Like, you know, they're only together for, like, 3 days, is the way they say it. But, like, some of the things that they do, I'm like, this took more than 3 days. Basically, the people that they helped wanted to be better versions of themselves.
Cool.
And they didn't know where to go or what to do or how to be.
Yeah.
You know, and you see a change. Like, it's not just a superficial makeover show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not like Next on MTV.
Right. Right. It's
if
not.
that's even around anymore, I'd be surprised.
Yeah. It's about taking someone and, you know, helping them change their attitude and come out of their shell and be comfortable with themselves. It was a lot about self-love and self-care.
Oh,
in like a way that, like, I was surprised about.
Awesome.
Because you got to love yourself. Because as the great RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Yeah, buddy.
Work, girl.
Thank you, Ru. All right. So
we got so what I was thinking is we could do a Straight Eyes Watch Queer Eye.
Or Straight Guys Talk Queer Eye.
Yes.
Or just...
The issue right now is there's only 8 episodes of the new show.
Yeah, but it's a good branching off point because, like, that would be putting us in the self-help world.
That's true.
That's a choice. I don't know.
And as we talked last time,
I
self-help, all self-help books just saying, it is what it is.
It is what it is, and what it is this. I've made everyone in the self-help industry lose that much more money because now our listeners do not need to go out and buy any books or sign up for any programs because they know that one simple sentence.
Yes.
It is what it is, and what it is this.
The truth.
Well, we could have, like, our friends who are gay or queer come on the podcast and basically just give them the floor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That could work.
There do need to be more voices.
Yeah, there need to be more voices and, like, be like, hey, you know...
The last thing we need to hear are 2 straight white guys talking about whatever they think.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's what we just did.
Well, but we're open to pretty much whatever form this podcast takes.
That's true. And I just, you know, I just wanted to talk about it because, one, I watched it and I wanted to talk about it with someone. And it was good.
Yeah.
And it made me think. And it's not like I was like, wow, I thought gay people were weird. But it was just, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. But because, you know, I don't want to sound like one of those idiots, but I do have a lot of gay friends. But it's very hard to totally understand some of their experiences. And I think that this show helps those people understand some of their experiences. And it just shows that we're more the same than we are different.
We are different, yeah. I'm getting kind of choked up, man. I really like that you brought this up. That's good.
Booyah.
Drop the mic, Jim. Well, don't drop the mic. It's already sitting on a table, but...
Yes, this mic is not made to be dropped.
Nope. But, okay, yeah. Do you have that written down?
I have, the words I have written down are queer eye.
Great. So, that's really good.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you wish to discuss?
No, I think that's a really... Last episode ended on a really good note and a good place. I think this one, that's a great place to end.
Yeah.
So, I think moving forward, though, since we don't have the means to make that podcast just yet...
Which podcast?
Any of the ones.
The ones we talked about. We don't have Orlando Bloom. We don't have a guy named Norman from Normandy. We don't have anyone that's really rusty in a lot of things. We need to meet a guy named Dusty.
Oh, well, I hate to stop you, but the Dusty, Norman, and the Nadia one, those are all fictional characters I was hoping one of us could play. Orlando Bloom is a valid thing we do not have.
We need a Dusty. We're going to commentate on what Dusty does.
Yeah, but one of us could still play Dusty, and with editing, we could be commenting over top.
Editing?
Yeah, there's editing that goes on in this podcast.
No.
We're in a basement, for God's sakes.
No editing. No editing. We got to keep it real and raw.
Well, I think this is a really good segue to tell our listeners, Mom, and hopefully one other person than my mom.
My mom?
So our moms. We can tell them to, using whatever contact method we put in the show notes, to send us your thoughts on what podcast would you like to hear a real episode of based on the ideas that we've been generating.
What podcast should we make?
And we will do a one-off episode of that podcast at some point in the very near future based on the feedback that we receive.
It will probably still go off on tangents.
Yeah. But there will be an intention.
There might be an intentional theme.
And a through line. And it'll probably sound different than this.
Maybe.
Okay, well, thanks for listening, Mom.
Goodbye. I love you.
Love
Bye,
you, Mom. Bye.